This paper, Perceptions and Reflections, Using Skype Chat to Build a Community of Learners, written by Parker, Bozjelenek and Harrington, was presented at the eLearn World Conference in Hawaii in October 2011. This paper is a report on the preliminary findings of 2 ongoing studies conducted on graduate-level courses for pre-service teachers. A study was used to gather student perceptions about using Skype and written tutor reflections obtained for evidence of perceived advantages and disadvantages of using Skype to build a community of learners. Constant comparative analysis techniques were used to examine the Skype chat transcript. Findings indicate that students appreciated the opportunity to communicate in real time with their peers and use the technology to connect with and support each other on their learning journey. As the number of students enrolling in online higher education courses is increasing, higher education is taking a more strategic approach to embracing online learning. However, despite the rapid advances in cognitive psychology and the affordances of new technologies, many online higher education courses still utilize traditional teacher-centered information delivery modes. The tendency to simply dump large tracts of information into online courses often leaves students to study in lonely isolation, and evidence suggests many learners are failing to engage with traditional online learning approaches because they are bored or unwilling to use outmoded technology. Quality online learning is more than delivery of information followed by a test. Rather, it is a complex mix of physical and social technologies, applications, activities, and presentations designed to teach, combined with a suite of services that help support the entire online learning experience. In 2010, Mayer described the implications for this for teaching. It means designing instruction so students are encouraged to read, ponder and discuss, shape their understandings of the material, evaluate their knowledge, and create new knowledge. Putting students at the centre of the learning experience means putting a greater emphasis on student-generated content and the use of communication and collaboration tools. Hrastinsky suggests asynchronous and synchronous modes of communication complement each other, as they each facilitate different forms of communication. Asynchronous communication forms, such as discussion forums, encourage cognitive participation and are best suited to discussing complex content-related issues, as learners have more time to process information, reflect on and refine their responses. Synchronous communications, such as chat, encourage personal participation and are more suitable for developing rapport among students and building a community of learners, as this type of communication is similar to face-to-face conversation. In creating a community of learners, particularly by means of communication technologies, Garrison argues for the importance of developing social presence, or the ability to comfortably and effectively communicate through a technical medium. Garrison defines it as the degree individuals project themselves through the medium, verbally or non-verbally. Based on the work of Short, Williams and Christie, who define social presence as the degree of salience of the other person in the interaction, Gundawardenia and Zittel identify salience in this respect as comprising 2 factors, intimacy and immediacy. Lee and McLaughlin describe the difficulties often faced by distant learners in gaining a sense of social presence in their learning environments. Difficulties arguably also experienced by on-campus students who, because of their personal commitments and circumstances, rely more and more on learning management systems and lecture capture systems as a substitute for campus experience. 4 key problems Lee and McLaughlin describe are: students are often denied a sense of belonging that is more readily acquired on campus, affecting their motivation and enthusiasm. There's a perceived lack of contact and timely feedback from the instructor, affecting students' abilities to evaluate their own progress. Large numbers of mature-age students entering the education system have little knowledge of an institution's culture, nor the means to acculturate within it. A significant proportion of students who enroll in distance courses have little or no knowledge or experience of the mode of learning. Lombardi suggests context, making connections, and social interaction play an important role in helping learners assimilate new information. Harrington, Reeves and Oliver believe environments that make effective use of communication technologies to connect learners in meaningful ways and include relevant and authentic learning activities are the most likely to succeed. In this paper, we investigate the use of Skype group chat to facilitate the development of a community of learners among distance and on-campus students in 2 courses using authentic learning principles. A group chat, a synchronous chat facility within Skype, was used in 2 graduate-level pre-service teacher courses to enhance student communication and social interaction. The study described in this paper investigated how this technology was used, how students responded to it, and to what extent it assisted in developing a community of learners. The assessment tasks for both courses included the 9 elements of authentic learning. Both consisted of 2 assignment tasks and an exam. In the first course, Assignment 1 required students to research current trends and issues in their selected area of teaching and to present their findings as a PowerPoint presentation. And for Assignment 2, students were required to plan a unit of work in their area of teaching to engage students over a 2 to 3 week period, where students would use technology as cognitive tools to support their learning. They could present their work as either a formatted document or a website to explain to other teachers how they could implement this unit of work. In Course 2, the first task focused on social technologies that required students to create a website and set up a blog, and then to choose and learn to use 2 social media technologies. The second assignment focused on researching and teaching technologies, and this assignment required students to use research technologies to locate information about a specific topic, write a brief summary, and use EndNote bibliographic referencing software to include citations. It also included a group project where teams of 3 to 5 students created a website featuring an authentic learning task that they presented to their peers. The website acted as an e-portfolio space to feature the students' reflective blogs and all the products they created during the semester. Qualitative methods were used to collect first-hand evidence of participant perceptions and teacher reflections about the Skype chat tool. Qualitative methods were most appropriate as they allowed participants to share their experience in greater detail to enable the researchers to understand and interpret their meanings and provide rich descriptions. Multiple data collection methods were used to enable corroboration of data. Data collection methods for both courses were an anonymous online student questionnaire, student comments and artifacts produced during the course, summary statistics gathered from the learning management system during the normal progression of the course, and written tutor reflections. Glasser and Stross's constant comparative method of qualitative analysis was used to analyse the data. Where appropriate, direct quotes have been used to faithfully represent participant perceptions and tutor reflections. Data gathered from the anonymous surveys, the discussion forums and the Skype chat provided insight into how students use the Skype group chat, their perceptions about the effectiveness of this technology, and tutor reflections about student interactions in the Skype chat. Course 1 consisted of 60 students, 15 male and 45 female, and Course 2 consisted of 258 students, 29 male and 229 female. 30% of students in Course 1 joined the Skype group chat, whereas only 19% of students in Course 2 joined the Skype group chat. It was possible to analyse data in relation to the content and nature of the students' Skype chat contributions. Specifically, comments made by students fell into one of the following themes. accessible, conceptual, procedural, technical, social, facilitative, emotional, reflective, and factual. These themes were then grouped into two categories, content-related and facilitation-related, categories that were derived from Hrastinsky's 2008 Cognitive and Personal Dimensions of Learning study. Hrastinsky's study, which looked at asynchronous communication, discussion forums, and synchronous communication, chat, found that asynchronous discussion tended to focus on content, whereas synchronous communications tended to have content, planning, and social components as well. Our data tells a similar story to Hrastinsky's. Students who participated in both the Skype chat and the discussion forums behaved in a similar manner and pattern to the Hrastinsky study group. This table shows the percentage of comments attributed from each source to each category. Student perception of the Skype chat was sought from an anonymous survey of students administered after the completion of each course. 85% of respondents who completed the survey agreed with the statement, "This unit has improved my skills to communicate using information technology." And on screen you can see some of the comments that students made. Many perceive Skype to be a good tool for building rapport and social presence with their fellow learners. However, one student thought the discussion forum was sufficient for their needs and so did not contribute to the Skype group chat at all. In response to the survey question, what did you think were the best aspects of this unit? Many students identified the Skype chat. On screen you'll see some of the example comments. When asked what improvement, if any, students would suggest for the course, one student said they would have liked to use Skype more and possibly in a more purposeful way. Other unsolicited comments gathered from the discussion forums, Skype chat, assignment submissions via the LMS and emails to the tutor supported the comments from the anonymous survey. Tutors in both courses were asked to contribute their impressions of the use of Skype chat in facilitating the building of community among students and observations of their own management of the communication technologies during the semester. They'd kept anecdotal records of their teaching as the courses progressed. A summary of their comments is shown on screen. In 2009, Anderson wrote of the challenges academics face in supporting the development of social presence and community, and that it may be more challenging than we think to create and sustain these communities. However, technology such as readily available chat facilities go some way towards meeting these challenges. In the study described here, students indicated the Skype chat was easy to use and an appealing technology for communicating with their peers. Our data appears to confirm Hrastinsky's observations. Students tend to use discussion forums for content-related discussions as there is less time pressure to respond immediately. Discussion forums give students more time to reflect and respond to deeper questions, whereas students tend to use chat for addressing immediate problems as they arise, as well as for facilitating group processes. Our study showed that many students did not use chat at all, for reasons we've not yet established, although studies such as Watson's, conducted in 2010, a study of online interactions, gives a comprehensive list of reasons nominated by students. The students that did not use the chat, however, did use the discussion forums for social and planning purposes, but we know little about how effective that was. Those students who did use chat did not use or had no need to use the discussion forums for social or planning purposes. This suggests that social presence is more readily achieved through synchronous chats. Incidental evidence in our study indicates that Skype assisted students in developing self-directed learning strategies. For example, a number of students from Course 2 organised their own Skype chat groups to assist their learning in subsequent courses, with or without their teacher's involvement. Indeed, Anderson pointed out in 2009 that reduced and/or delayed teacher response in chat and discussion forums may be beneficial, as playing a less dominant role in class discourse can actually support the emergence of greater learner commitment and participation. The findings of this study are limited by factors such as low response rates for both surveys, but it does provide interesting trends and indications for further analysis and research. Issues to be explored in future will include in-depth content analysis of types of student communications. As noted by Leah McLaughlin in 2010, any technology use is best considered in the light of the tasks that students complete. If tasks are unidimensional or only require lower order skills, there is perhaps reduced need to develop social presence and community to support learning. The interplay among task, technology and theory in relation to building of community among learners merits further investigation. You will find full references quoted in this presentation in our paper, and the images were sourced from Flickr's Creative Commons photo stream.